What is happening, YouTube? It's Skinny Rays back with another video, and today I've got Spectre Divide, which was launched yesterday on September 3rd around 17:00 in UK time, yeah? And a lot of backlash happened, and I want to talk about what happened and what's going on and how's the game currently performing. I want to talk about that, yeah. So for those of you who don't know what Spectre Divide is, it's a new FPS game that blends tactical gameplay with fast-paced action, which aims to challenge Valorant and CS:GO, presumably, and it's developed with high expectation, and it's promised innovative mechanics, strategic depth, and a fresh competitive edge that could refine the genre, yeah. And with its technique, character ability, and dynamic maps, Spectre Divide had the potential to be the next big hit in a competitive gaming, capturing the attention of both casual and pro players, yeah. So and leading up to its release, Spectre Divide generated a significant amount of hype within the gaming community, and as an FPS developed with such input from top tier esport players, it just promised to be the next level competitive gameplay that could rival Valorant or CS again. I had high hopes about it too, and the teasers showed fluid mechanics, and I've been there since alpha test, and I've been really fascinated by how the mechanic works. And I don't even play Valorant and CS. I don't like those kind of games where I just stand and shoot. I like to move, jump, wall jump, bunny hop, slide console, this and all of that, blah, blah. I like to do that, and this game was able to make me settle down for what's presumably called a Valorant and CS type of game. So on launch day, Spectre Divide faced a series of critical issues that left many players frustrated and disappointed, including myself. The most prominent problem was the game's server. I was struggling, it couldn't handle the flux of players properly, and causing widespread matchmaking issues. Players found themselves stuck in a matchmaking queues for over 12 minutes, and only to have queue cancel button fail to work, which trapped us in an endless way. I was sitting there for 15 minutes, unable to cancel queue, live on Twitch. I didn't know what to do. I had to alt F4 3 times in order for me to, cancel the queue. And even after even when you pass through the queue, many players experience incomplete matchmaking, where teams were uneven or players were disconnected mid-match, and these problems made it nearly impossible for players to get into a proper game and enjoy the experience. And that led to a lot of frustration, and chaotic launch severely impacted the game's reputation, which overshadows the excitement and potential that surrounded Spectre Divides, yeah. So, personally, as I stated earlier, I was sitting in queue for over 15 minutes, and after getting queued for a match, it said match found, and I went in, and connecting to match happened. I sat there for about 5 minutes while the game is saying connecting to match, and then it kicked me out. I didn't even see the select character option, and it was a chaotic experience that summed up the struggles that many players faced. So, and in the reviews, I was reading a lot of reviews around, and the launch of Spectre Device have met with a wave of criticism from players and reviewers alike, and many have voiced their frustration over the game's numerous technical issues, which have significantly marred the initial experience. And the concern have obviously been acknowledged by the devs at Mountaintop Studios, but they posted on Twitter that it's X currently they're working on a fix for few known issues ASAP, and the most pressing problem includes matchmaking error and long queue time in some regions, which have made it challenging for FPS fans to get into the game. Yeah, so adding to that frustration level, they had removed tutorials from the game. They temporarily, obviously, and they did that due to stability concerns, and some players have encountered errors where purchasing in-game currencies through Steam. There was an error like that too, yeah. So the community on Steam reviews were literally battering the game, half battering the game, half glazing the game. That's what's been going on, yeah. And they've been like, complaining about the broken cancel queue, complaining about the disabled tutorial level, the complaining about the in-game currency issues, and I'm gonna actually put a screenshot of what the reviews were saying right on the screen, and you can read for yourself. Um, there is an article written by one player called Pink Menace. I'm not shitting you. This dude, as you can see, has written a paragraph, and you can read all of that because I'm not gonna be reading it. It's gonna take us forever to read and finish all of that. But what he's basically saying is, he's like he's appreciating the duality system. Yeah. I mean, like he loved the duality system, but I'm gonna make it short what he said, and just briefly tell you what he's trying to say if you're lazy too. Yeah. So a third player called Pink Menace said he loved the concept of duality and criticized other aspects such as unremarkable maps, poorly designed economy system, lack of weapon customization. He found that the sponsor's abilities to be underwhelming compared to Valorant, and felt that the gameplay mechanic were inconsistent and frustrating. And he also highlighted the lack of free cosmetic customization options, calling the in-game skin pricing ridiculous compared to what competitors like Valo offers for some similar prices. Yeah. So overall, while some acknowledge the Spectre Divide had potential and it is free to play, the overwhelming sentiment is that the game falls short compared to its competitors such as Valorant and CS2. The general consensus is that unless major improvements are made, Spectre Divide may struggle to retain its player base. Yeah, so I want to discuss about how the bad launch impacted Spectre Divide's reputation and its player base, without making it too long. So basically, the troubled launch of Spectre Divide had a significant negative impact on the game's reputation and its ability to build a loyal player base. It's actually highly impacted that more than anything. And early reviews on Steam and social media quickly turned sour, and players shared their frustrating experience. Issues like lengthy matchmaking times, broken queue system, server instability, and bugs became like the main talking point rather than the game's unique features. And this shift in conversation created a negative first impression that is difficult to overcome the competitive FPS market. And the backlash from the community has been intense. Many players expressed disappointment over what they felt was prioritization of monetization, like high price skin and paywalls for classes, over providing a stable and enjoyable gaming experience. These frustrations were amplified by comparison to more polished competitors like Valorant and CS2, which some players outright start stating that they saw no reason to switch from those games to Spectre Divides. This is what I mean by it's affecting its reputation and its loyal player base. It's affecting those two highly. And the impact of these issues led to a decline in the initial player base, as many who were excited to try the game during its beta phase quickly abandoned it after encountering these problems. Negative word of mouth and critical reviews have further damaged the game's reputation, making it harder for the devs to attract new players or retain those who were initially interested. For a game in such competitive genre, a botched launch can be particularly damaging, and without significant improvements, I feel like Spectre's it's at risk of being labeled as a missed opportunity rather than a breakthrough FPS title. Yeah. So what are the devs doing about this? Yeah. So that's the question. That's what begs the question. Yeah. So the first thing is they addressed the temporarily disabling the tutorial requirement, and then and they actually addressed the purchasing error on Steam. Yeah. So they said that they'll be working on matchmaking issues and disabling the tutorial requirements and the currency issues. They've been working on that, and then the devs quickly respond to the matchmaking issues on around 12:45 a.m. September 4th. They announced a hotfix that was set to be deployed in 15 minutes. Which is going to be addressing the matchmaking problem. Yeah. and this hotfix was likely aimed at resolving the errors and reducing the long queue times that players were experiencing in certain regions. Yeah, so this really shows that the devs team is actually monitoring a situation and working to improve the players' experiences ASAP. Yeah, so after that, they actually addressed issues regarding prices. Yeah, because this I'm gonna display the pricings and what the items are right here on the video. As you can see, this items being like a ridiculous amount for a bundle, 9,000 SP and then 4,500 SP. Those highly ridiculous prices. The skin is not worthy of that kind of money. Yeah, and I felt the same, but it's not just me. Overall, the whole Steam review, if you can see, most of the bad reviews include the pricing issues. And apology and acknowledgement was addressed by Pop and Swap by apologizing for the pricing situation and assured players that the team had listened to the feedback and they decided to make a significant adjustment. Yeah, so they announced its price, like the price reductions. First, what they did is they announced a reduction in prices of various items. For example, weapon and character prices in the store was decreased by 17 to 25% within that range. And the specific adjustments include, I'm gonna leave a picture right here, a Discord screenshot on what they're fixing right here. First thing is the Cryokinesis Masterpiece bundle with a melee weapon, which was previously 9,000 SP and now is 7,000 SP. And then a Medusa Prestige bundle reduced for 4,500 to 3,400. Eternal Guardian Prestige weapon skin from 1,500 to 1,200. Mako Elite weapon is a skin reduced from 1,000 to 800. All forgive me. All masterpiece character skins reduced from 1,800 to 1,500, and all prestige character skins reduced from 13,000 to 1,000 SP. So, this begs the question: what happens to the others who purchased these skins without, before these adjustments? Yeah. Fear not, if you are one of those who actually purchased the skin before these price adjustments, you will actually be getting a 30% SP back to you. So, if you bought like a primal skin for 1,800 SP, you would receive 600 SP back to you. That means 30% of what you've purchased will be back to you. But as of now, as far as I know, it's not a refund. It's going to be put as an SP for you, or as a Spectre point. That's what you'll be getting on your store. And then they also mentioned it would take about an hour to roll out these changes, which probably would be out by now, because it's we're on September 4th, and this video would be out probably 5 or 6 hours, 7 hours after this update was sent. And they also try to justify the context for initial context and justification for the initial pricing. Yeah, so the devs explained why they actually priced the items how they were priced in the initial release. So their excuse was, or their reason was, I'm not gonna call it an excuse, I understand where they're coming from. So you see, it's a free game, and only 10% of a player will be spending money on the game. 90% of the player base will just be playing the game without spending anything. And there is no way to fund the server cost and development without an in-game currency, or without having these monetizations. Yes, so what they said is, as a new independent self-publishing studio, they initially priced item to best support the game's sustainability, but admitted that they overshot and are now adjusting based on players' feedback. Yeah. So their response actually demonstrates, willingness to listen to their community and makes a necessary adjustment to create a better experience for everyone. They just didn't ignore what everyone's saying, that the price is high, and they didn't say pay with your wallet like Apex did. Yeah, they actually tried to adjust the pricing, which is really good good transparency between community and the developers, the mods, and everyone. Yeah, and we really like that. So moving forward, I'd like Spectre to have matchmaking and server reliability. With the recent issues, matchmaking and long queue time indicates a need for ongoing improvement in server infrastructure in matchmaking algorithms, and ensuring that players can quickly and reliably find matches is crucial to maintaining an active player base. It's too obvious, we need to do that. And on bug fixes and hotfix deployments, like the devs have shown, like, they can respond quickly with hotfix, which is excellent. But however, they should prioritize rigorous testing before updates to minimize the needs for frequent hotfix, which can disrupt gameplays, right? Like, you need to be sure that this thing is not going to cause you another bug, and then you need to stop the game, or you need to actually, kick players out of the game and then push that bug fix and then expect players to get back up again, which nowadays a lot of people have a short span of attention due to TikTok and shorts and all of that. Yes, so I feel like they should be doing more rigorous testing, because you will see if you have any issues and errors in the game if you do rigorous testings. And also, in my opinion, the game should have been, like, should have been polished a little bit more before it came out. And then I want them to be proactive with communications, and the devs have been transparent in addressing issues, which is commendable. And I want them to continue to actively seek and incorporate players' feedback, not just on pricing, but on a gameplay balance and new content, and a quality of life improvement. Like, we need to be transparent in order to make this community big, and have an engagement, have loyal players. Yeah. And building a strong relationship with the players, with the player community through regular updates, Q&A sessions, and perhaps even in-game events or rewards for feedback can help maintain players' loyalty. It can make us stay where we are. So, like, so that we actually stay in the game and we never go anywhere. If you want to make sure that happens, you need to be you need to be engaged with the community. You need to have those Q&A sessions, like like we did in the beta and alpha test. Yeah, so monetization and content strategy is, we need a fair and transparent pricing. Like, I don't want it to feel like this, the experiment with a high pricing, and then they see the feedback and then they just lower it and say we have a transparent pricing. That's not how it works. They need to understand the economical standings of everyone, and then they need to adjust it, because the recent pricing adjustment shows a willingness to adapt. But the devs should continue to monitor player sentiment and ensure the future pricing strategies are perceived as fair, because, like, they should also, like, try and explore and non-intrusive ways to monetize the game, like a battle pass or cosmetic only microtransaction, because, like, we should have been able to have a battle pass on launch. Me personally, I did not expect to have this, no battle pass, no career. Everything felt like I was in the beta test, except that, they said that season 0 is coming out. So it still feels like a beta for me. It's not an actual game. And then content updates, like, we need regular content updates. This isn't the coming future, obviously. I'm not saying update it now. I'm saying in the future we need to be doing all these things that I'm mentioning. Regular content updates, which are vital to keeping the games fresh and engaging. And obviously we might have new characters, weapons, maps, and game modes. It's gonna happen, obviously. And ensuring those things will updates will keep a well-paced and offer a meaningful content. Like, if they keep doing that, it's key to keeping players engaged, obviously. And then nobody's going to go anywhere. It's gonna be another Valorant. Hopefully it will be for you guys. So that's all I'm trying to say. And a long-term vision and a roadmap, like, they need to have that, and they need to have the transparency. Players appreciate knowing what's coming next. Most of gamers out there want to know what's coming next, and the devs should consider releasing a roadmap detailing upcoming features, content, and improvements. The transparency helps manage players' expectation and builds anticipation for future updates. It's like common sense. Like, if there's an event or if there's a new thing coming, if you just teased it a little and then players get anxious to know about it, they're gonna still keep playing until that thing comes up, and then it builds up expectation. It builds up it, it builds people's it actually brings people to you. So in conclusion, there was a rough launch, and the matchmaking issue was really tedious, and the tutorial and currency problems were like for playing casual matches had to be temporarily disabled due to issues, and there were errors where purchasing in-game was really tough, and initial pricing of in-game items including weapons, characters, and bundles was perceived as too high by the player base, causing dissatisfactions. Yeah, and the game is the devs will likely continue focusing on enhancing server reliability, fixing bugs, and improving matchmaking to ensure a smooth gameplay experience. So I recommend that you stick to the game until it's until you feel like it's unbearable any longer. And with a strong emphasis on listening to player feedbacks, the devs are expected to maintain transparent communication and involve the community in shaping the game's future. Following the pricing adjustment, the devs are expected to to refine their monetization strategy to balance fairness with the financial sustainability of the game. Yeah, and the game will likely see regular content updates, including new characters, weapons, game modules, and efforts to maintain competitive balance and support a growing competitive scene, because as of now we don't have ranked system up yet. It's gonna be out on September 10th, which personally I feel like that's a heck of a long wait for a lot of people, for those who actually want to get into the competitive scene fast. And yeah, so in summary, while Spectre Divide has a challenging launch with several issues, the devs have been responsive and are actively working to address players' concerns. The game is headed towards a more stable, community-driven future with the focus on fair pricing, regular content update, and ongoing improvements. And why don't you let me know what your thoughts are down below about Spectre Divides, and what's your experience has been, and also if you like this video, please hit that like button. I thought this was gonna be a really short video, but unfortunately we had a lot to say about it. But it's good to have a transparency with the game too as a consumer. So yeah, I appreciate if you've made it this far. I appreciate you, and why don't you hit that bell, notification bell, hit the subscribe if you enjoy it. That really helped me with the algorithm, and keep practicing the headshots, and I'll see you later.